Small ways to help and make a difference. Come to the Whole Woman Festival at Casa on the 21st of March, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. It's free and open to the public, and it's going to be a day of speakers, performers, vendors. We have a wellness area where people will be demonstrating different complementary or alternative healing processes. We have a red tent, which will be a room that's safe for women to go into and have conversations with each other, speak truths. I was in New Orleans, and they had a red tent, and a 19-year-old woman that sat in my group spoke about her abuse for the first time in her life. And I still get emails from her, and she's actually moved forward. She's changing her life. She's empowering herself, and words are the first thing to free you. And if people realize, you know, when I was in a big circle of women, I think there were 64 of us around the first time I ever participated in a VDAY campaign. And each person was to write on a red ribbon someone's name who had been a victim of abuse, a woman's name. There was one woman in 65 who claimed she didn't know anyone. And as we continued to ask her, she was. She'd been sexually fondled by a grandfather as a child and didn't realize it was abuse. It's just what he did. So out of 65 women, no one didn't know a woman who had been a victim of some sort of violence.
The thing is, Laurie, is you could know somebody who hasn't necessarily divulged it to you.
Right.
Because even here in the States, people, I think, are still ashamed of that, still embarrassed by it, or they may not know who to talk to, how to talk to someone. Even if it's your best friend, they may think, okay, you're going to think differently of me if I tell you that that's happened. How do you, or what do you say to those women who don't know who to go to or don't know how to start talking about it and are scared that people are going to have judgments about them?
You know, at the Whole Woman's Festival, we're going to be really blessed with panel discussions, and we have counselors coming. And that's the best way, is to find someone you feel safe in sharing your stories, because that's the reason Eve did the monologue. She realized women sharing their stories empowered women. It made us feel that we're not the only ones, that bad things happen and people can survive. And, you know, counselor, go out and get her book, her biography, and read about her story and how she made those steps. Find a woman that you admire, that you look up to, and ask her questions. And you'll find out that she's probably had some violence in her life. And how did she make a change? How did she move forward? And, you know, for me, it's through art, and it's through music, and it's through these community events that we empower each other. We had a event here last Saturday called Every Day a Woman, and it was an open mic for women. They could say anything they wanted to, sing a song, recite a poem, just speak about their own life. And what a great forum for women.
That is an amazing forum for women, and just the support you would get from that. And I think you hit on such a great point. Another reason why I do this show is so I feel like everybody has a story. Everybody has something that goes on in their life, and we all, men and women, can learn from those stories. You don't have to feel embarrassed. You don't have to feel like, okay, I'm the only one going through this. By hearing someone else's story, whether it's, you know, to feel that you're not alone, because we all want to feel that someone else, unfortunately, is going through the same thing, so where you don't feel so much like a freak or weird, or, you know, we want to feel normal like everybody else. Or even if it's just the fact that maybe that didn't happen to us, but I can relate to this person's story because maybe it happened to someone I know, or gosh, if I ever do go through that, maybe now I have a resource or a better way of dealing with it. Just experience. And as I've traveled, the one thing I've found, the commonality for everybody, is that not only do we all want to be loved, but we all want to feel like we belong. We all want to feel that, you know, we are like everybody else. And just by sharing experiences and stories, you know, especially in a forum like that, gives us that thread that goes through all of us, and we can just sit there and hold out our hand and say, okay, I'm right here. Just, you know.
Tell me your story.
Exactly. Just open up. And just to be able to do that, especially in a place like that, how can that not empower you just to feel so great?
And, you know, it's the whole connotation of the word vagina that really puts people off. I've been turned down on sponsorship requests and donations of food and drinks because of that. And one woman said, I'm really offended by that. And I said, well, I would appreciate it if you'd get online and look up all the statistics that Eve and the VDAY Fort Worth campaign offer. And you should be so much more offended by what's happening to us than by a body part on us.
The sad thing is that is the body part. I mean, that is the clinical term for, I mean, what do you want people to call it? And that is really sad, because you can't get past, it's a word.
It's a word. And if
you
we
can't get past
vagina,
that word, how are you going to help anything? And no offense to that person, but she should be more ashamed that she's taken back by that word and not willing to help people based on a word.
That's right. And you know, I think Eve's whole point was that we'd been having discussions and we'd been meeting in places, and there had been a conversation about ending this. But until she really stood up and used a word that grabbed everybody's attention, it wasn't the same. And so if it's in your face, it's just in your face. And the whole Women's Festival that we're going to do, it's going to be very kid-friendly, very family-friendly. We realize that there are certain things that you should and could show and say. And then the Vagina Monologues is definitely a PG and above evening event. And its whole purpose is for men and women to hear these stories. So hopefully they'll go out and say, you know, the law needs to be changed, or we can donate this much money, or we can go help Safe Haven, or maybe we go to the Battered Women's Foundation and spend a Saturday helping them at the foundation. Or let's start a women's group where everybody can come in and sit and visit.
Wow.
There's so many ways, and it doesn't have to be, we don't have to save the world, we can't, but we can change our little world.
But the thing is you can save the world, even if you're saving the world for one person or 100 people. You may not be saving everybody in the world, but you're saving someone's world.
At least we're doing something moving forward.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining me, Lori.
Thank you.
If you are interested, March 21st at Casa Mañana in Fort Worth, Texas. It's 11 to 6 p.m. and then the Vagina Monologues actually starts at 7:30 p.m. It's a must-see, must-do event for everybody out there in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. If you can't get past the word vagina, it's just, we all know different slang words for that body part. I mean, we all call it something at some time in our life. If you can't get past that word, then you actually need to do a little bit of deep soul searching on your part and realize, what is it about that word that has you in such an uproar? Because after all, it is only a word. Arm, leg, just a body part. And until you get past that word, you can't actually make a difference. And think of that one word is keeping you from saving people in the world, from helping people change their lives. You can't save everyone, but you can save one person at a time. If you have any questions, you can email me at jessica@jessicarector.com. I can absolutely get you in touch with Lori or VDAY. Think about the statistics I said in this show, and I hope to hear from you soon. Have a great day.